Again, I'm warning you, we will not tolerate this. There will be no clapping, absolutely none. There will be no clapping, absolutely none. And again, if you feel the urge to speak out, then you will be removed. If you feel the urge to speak out and you leave on your own and then you come back, that will be fine. So again, we're still open for public comment.
Thank you. Again, James Nunemacher, and I'm here to oppose the legislation or the recommendation to the board. It's absolutely shocking.
Madam Chair, just for the sake of clarification so people understand, there's no legislation before us right now.
Correct.
And if you want to translate that into any languages, anybody out there, okay. Thank you. There's no legislation.
Maybe what we should do is say, tell briefly the difference between a resolution and an ordinance.
Oh, sure. City Attorney, would you be willing to define for people who, again, some of you are here for the first time, so that's fine. The difference between a resolution and an ordinance. An ordinance creates a law, and that's not what's before us, and so maybe people will address what's before us instead of what they think is going to come in the future. Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor, Deputy City Attorney Cheryl Adams, what's before you is a resolution, and it's urging the Planning Commission to do something. It doesn't have the ability to bind the Planning Commission to take action. You're simply asking them to do something. An ordinance does bind a department or individuals, or it amends the city code.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I'd like to educate people while they're here. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for doing that. I think that's even more important, James Nunemacher once again. But to discuss a resolution that's coming from a land use and what is called here Land Use and Economic Development Committee, which is kind of surprising to me that this committee is called an Economic Development Committee when in fact something is so blatant and blaringly against economic development is coming out of the committee, but okay, it seems to be. Well, I mean, it's very basic in the world today. We live in a big world, and there are basic economic principles in the world. And if in fact a committee is going to be called or titled an Economic Development Committee, perhaps people on that committee should have some sort of education in economic development. I think that's an idea. And it's not a bad idea. There's economic development all over the world in different countries, in Africa, in Asia, and South America. And economic development is just that. It's trying to get things done versus not trying to stop things. And I think that's what's going on here. It's simple politics. Whether a resolution comes from a committee like yourselves, the point of it is a political will that's coming out of the powers that be to form something, and that's the point. So, and that's problematic coming from an economic development committee in San Francisco. It's just shocking to me. So I'd really like to see better education on your sides about economic development. I think that's something that's not ridiculous to ask for.